Well, hey everyone, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another stream. Welcome back to another video. And yeah, welcome back. So I'm just kind of getting things set up here and my computer's being a little bit slow. It probably wants to sleep in just like everyone else. Over the weekend we had Canada Day here up in the Canadas, and so Monday's a holiday for all of us. Well, for most of us anyway. So, what am I doing? Well, I'm drinking a coffee, is what I'm doing. And I'm working on this. This guy right here. Well, these guys. The F4 Phantom. We're doing the ROKAF F-4D and we're doing the Tamiya F-4B. We didn't get too much done last time, which basically just opened the box and looked at everything and kind of did a slight little comparison on the parts, right? This being part 2, we're going to start getting into it. I wanted to show you guys what I have planned, because a bit of this is going to be some prep. Especially as I'm starting into this, because I have 2 cockpits to build. As you can see here, my little tray, I've taken what I think are all the parts for both cockpits and I have them separated. On top of the lid here is all the parts out of the Academy kit, and then inside are all the parts from the Tamiya kit. And I want to let you guys know what my plan is. Red Fox Studios by Ammo. Let me change my camera. We'll get a good look at this here. And I just want to change setting on here. Boop-a-doop-a-doop. So we can get into this. Are we going to load? Show me your stuff. Yes. We're going to change this. There we go. Okay, overhead cam, here we are. As I almost drop it. Red Fox Studios by Ammo. Okay. What these are the little resin pieces for your instrumentation. This one happens to be for the Tamiya kit. I also have another one right here. This one is for the Academy kit. Okay, and they kind of look like this. They come in a little bag. They're all pre-cut, and all your buttons and dials are all done for you. And they're fantastic. Great, highly detailed. Let's take this out of this so you can see a little better. I can get that up there nice and close. The detail is fantastic. I could never ever paint that like that. And yeah. So there you have it. That's my plan. Now, so what do you have to do? Why is it a bunch of prep work? Well, pardon me here. You have to file or sand down all of the detail on your panels and make it flat for these to stick properly. Otherwise they're going to sit on top of all your little raised buttons and dials, and yeah. And yeah. So have to bear with me a moment here as I have to take a phone call.
Later.
Okay, well, we're back. Well, I'm back anyway. So where was I now? Talking about these resin panels. They're not, they're kind of strange because they're stuck to this paper, but the moment you take them off, they're not sticky. So they're basically on here. You take this off here once, it won't stick back. And you have to glue them down onto the panels that you want them on. And so, like I said, there's a bunch of prep I need to do. Okay. The other thing I need to do after I have these sanded down smooth, we got to paint these. Now, the Tamiya kit calls out for XF19 Sky Gray on the cockpit. Basically, all the panels, the floor, the walls, everything. The Academy kit, they call out a different color. I believe it's just gray. What do they call it now? It was number 3 on the sheet, and number 3 is gray, and that's all it is, gray. If you're using a GSI or a Mr. Color, it's H317, FS36231, whatever that is. They don't call out they don't have a call out for the Tamiya equivalent on here. That's all right. So I'm just going to do both of them the same. They're both going to be the sky gray. Okay, there we go. Now, the other thing I wanted to point out, I wanted to find an equivalent to the AS16 spray that the Tamiya kit calls for to do that nice light gray color. It's an extremely light gray. It's very hard to find an equivalent in another brand or anything like that. So what I did find was, going back to Tamiya, LP34 is an a very close resemblance. LP34, what's it called? Light gray. Just like this. This is also light gray USAF. That's the only difference. But this is like very, very close. Of course, Tamiya's lids, they don't really represent the color all that great. So you kind of have to open them up. If you want to actually see the real color, you can see that is, oh, look in this camera here. It is very close to that color. Very, very close. So I think that's going to be a good representation of the actual gray for the USAF. Is it, am I doing a USAF? No, sorry, for the US Navy version that I'm building. So we got our fuselage. I did go through, you notice this now looks a little bit different because I went through and I primed. I just used the Mr. Surfacer gray 1500 primer. I didn't want to do the whole thing in black because then all of a sudden you can't see any detail because everything's all black. So I will, like, once it's assembled, and I'm going to prime this and prime the fuselage and the wings, those I will do in the black so I get a nice black base going on. But for everything else, all the cockpit parts and everything like that, I don't see any reason to black base it. So I did it all in the 1500 gray. So little shot of primer on the sidewalls here. The Academy kit has zero detail on the inside of the cockpit wall. That's fine. You don't really see that. It's very minimal amount that you're going to see anyway. I can't really fault them on that. One thing I do not understand on the Tamiya kit is why they have this half of the fuselage in one piece and this half in two pieces. Why do they make you? I mean, sure, you've got a nice, good little secure mounting point to get it exactly where you need it. But why did they do this? They could have easily made both halves in. If they did one side like this, why not the other? That I don't get it at all. And of course now we have we got a gap here that's going to have to be made sure that we get together and get lined up correctly. I mean, it just doesn't make sense to me why they did that. Anyway, let me switch over to, we're going to start with the Academy kit here, because even though I took the Tamiya one out of the bag here, you'll notice there's a bit of a difference in them because they are actually kind of different kits. Although the Tamiya kit, this one is for the F-4D, so it is specifically for the Tamiya kit I bought. The Academy kit is good for the F-4D and the N not specifically for the D, right? So I guess Academy doesn't like the D. I was actually looking on YouTube. I was curious. Watched a video of a guy building the Academy Phantom kit. Of course, it wasn't the D. For some reason, this particular kit is kind of hard to find. Even to find a video of it, of anyone building it. There doesn't seem to be anyone who did it. I mean, okay, fine. The kit, they basically stopped making this kit in 2014, but still. So, one thing that's nice about their little things, so they show you each piece that this comes with, okay, separate. This will be for the pilot, this is going to be for the Rio, and then they show you in separate pages. They tell you exactly which pieces each one goes on, and then shows you which one goes where. So that's nice of them to do that. So I'm going to change my glasses. So that I can see the detail a little bit easier. I've got my little file here, which is going to help me out. I don't need the bucket. There's zero detail on the bucket. And there's actually quite a few pieces that I don't need to worry about, like the bulkheads. But we have our panels here. So that's basically this one. Let me change the camera here. Sorry. Overhead cam. Hello, hello. We're going to change you back to manual focus. And we're frozen for some reason. I don't know why. Stupid thing. I'll have a drink of coffee. My computer doesn't seem to be happy. So, I want to just double check this, make sure, yes, this is the Academy kit, because things look a little bit different, okay? But this should be that, and this one here. And you see, these are different. We have our Rio panels are different. This one looks, yeah, they are different for sure. Although this looks like it's, yeah, you can tell this is a little bit different. So it's different, basically a different kit, but it should still be alright. And then this one goes like that. See, why don't they have one on the other side? What kit doesn't have one on that side? Do I have these the right way around? I'm going to guess no. Yeah, so that one's going to go there. This one goes here. So you can see our little hole is different. Well, maybe you can't see, it's a little too small. There is a little rectangular slot right there, okay? And on the decal, it's on the back. But on this piece, it's up front. And even if I turn it around upside down, it's still in the wrong spot. This is now on the right, while this is on the left. So it's not going to line up no matter what I do. It's going to be wrong. So that's one problem. The other problem is I don't have a decal for this piece. There isn't one at all. So it's a little disappointing. If I look at the Tamiya, well, they're totally different also. There's our front, and here's our rear. We got this one here and this one here. The Tamiya's got some stuff that going on the sidewall at the back too, so it's a little bit different. The Tamiya one I think is going to be fine. Unfortunately, with the Academy, we don't have that luxury. So I'm just going to double check by unfolding this. See, I guess with the Academy kit, we only have one wall or one panel for some reason for the Rio, and that's kind of strange, but whatever. So it is this side, so this one needs to be filed down. Okay, so it's another reason why I like. See, the Academy kit's molded in black for these parts, so it's going to be nice to be able to tell once I've gotten through and gotten it smooth, all the details should be gone, and that will help out with the adhesion. You don't have to get it 100% smooth, but you want to be pretty close, otherwise it ain't gonna stick. Whoa. What was that? Where did you go? I literally flung up, hit my glasses, and disappeared somewhere. I didn't see it hit the floor. That's not even part of that. Ah, there it is. Okay. All right. That's pretty close. I think I'm going to call that good enough. I don't think it needs to be any better, really. Can it be better? Yes. Does it have to be? No. So there we go. There's our panel. Okay. Now we'll do the same work on our front ones. There is a bit of a feeling of disappointment after seeing all the nice work that the sculptors did in making all those little knobs and switches and buttons and things for these, and then you just take your file and grind them all away. In very short work. There we go. I think that's plenty for that panel. And we'll do this one. There we go. Just about there. Like I said, it's just about getting it so it's a flat surface, really. It doesn't have to be 100% because that's what glue's for. This one I'm going to leave because I'm going to try and paint this one. As crappy as I am at doing that. Now, I've got to look at this one. Here's our back one. So we have one that's going to go across here, and this isn't exactly matching, but this is going to go on here. So this piece, this needs to be flat. That needs to be flattened like that. And this piece, now this file has an edge, even has a file on this edge, so I can get in there nice and easy. That's a nice thing about this file. So I can get only these particular instruments filed down smooth. Without sacrificing any others. So that helps out a lot on that. What else for this? We got a piece that's going to go on this part and a piece that's going to go here. So this is where it gets a little bit harder because I can't do such a long stroke. I have to do short strokes. I'm not going to bother showing you guys this twice. It's the exact same process, but on the Tamiya one, it's the same thing. And I mean, even this, I mean, we're filing down all the detail. It's not that hard to do. It's harder to keep detail than it is to get rid of it. File starts to get filled up, we just flip it over. It's the same on both sides. That side is pretty good. I think I want to get in here this and just make sure. Pretty deep detail on this, so I just want to do that little bit of extra on there. Okay, so now this side, flip it over and see, try and get a good angle. We're getting there. We're getting there. Sometimes it's all about elbow grease. You just can't avoid it, right? I wanted to try and get this flush as I can. Again, doing the same thing. Just scrape away a little bit. I think that's pretty good there. I want to get this a little better if I can up here. Okay, there we go. There's that panel. Got a lot of dust around there now. Where's my pilot one? Pilot. So we got to basically take away everything on here. Everything's got to go. All detail gone. Like I mentioned before, it's a lot of prep to get this ready to actually start installation and assembly. That panel's gone, nice and quick. Now, this makes a bit of a challenge because this panel here and this panel here, it's not flat. So it would be nice to be able to just go right across the whole thing like this, but we can't. So we got to do them section by section. So let's get rid of this side panel detail. Looks pretty good there. Get rid of all of our little switches on this panel. There we go, all of our switches are gone. Now for the center. It's a good way to get my hand cramping up, holding on to it so tight. Also not really able to put a lot of pressure on it. Sorry, I'm completely blocking the camera and you can't see, but I need to be able to put some pressure on this since my strokes are so short. I'll try and keep my fingers out of the way so you guys can see, but unfortunately it's easier said than done. Almost there. Okay, I think that is a flat enough surface for me to deal with. Think. All right, so there's all our panels. So does that mean I can start gluing them on? No, it doesn't, because I have to paint them. Okay, as I said before, I got to paint this whole thing. I got to paint everything, and then I can put these on. But that's the start of it. The only next step after painting is to glue these on. I'm going to use CA glue. The instructions that these come with, they say you can use PVA glue if you want. I don't use PVA glue. I think PVA is for wood and paper. That's just my opinion, but that's what I grew up with. Elmer's white glue. Who knew that was PVA glue? Well, I guess they did. I want to show you guys next. Let me wipe this off here. Got all this black dust on here now. The difference between the Academy cockpit and the Tamiya, just in the parts. I open this up very carefully. Let's put all of our little panels back in here. Okay, this is the Academy. Okay, the Academy one, and here's our Tamiya one. As you can tell just by the amount of parts that fell out of this little dish, how many more parts there are in the Tamiya kit. Now, before I actually get to painting, I want to actually assemble a few of these pieces, because that just makes more sense to me. So, let's have a look at what's needed. Of course, the first thing Tamiya wants you to do is start painting the interior of the fuselage sides with a bunch of detail. And that's another thing that's a huge difference I've noticed just going through the instructions. How much more painted detail is required on the Tamiya kit compared to the Academy. It's a huge difference on what gets painted and what doesn't. It's crazy. So I'm going to put this here. I'm going to get my glue, and I'm going to have to try and, because I no longer have part numbers, I'm going to be guessing. This part here goes with, not this part, but this part here. Nope. This part here. This goes like that. So it just makes sense to me to glue a few of these together before painting. I'll switch the camera so you can watch what I'm doing at least. Just so, you know, if you're having problems figuring out how it goes together, at least you get to see what I've done. This goes like that. And then we have, what is that part? I may have not taken that part off of the sprue. Okay, whatever. I think putting in our pedals can be done. They're going to go in down here. Is that right? I believe they go like that. I don't see any harm in gluing those in before painting. See, I want to glue some stuff together, but I don't want to glue so many things in that I can't get it all painted. You know what I mean? I don't want to give myself the challenge of suddenly not being able to get in the tight spots with the paint. So this piece and this piece go together like that. We have our bulkhead. So there's a bunch of painting detail that needs to be done on these too. They want you to paint all these things, but I need to paint this all first. So we're going to take this guy, and he's going to go on there, like this. Sure that's sitting exactly where it's supposed to. And again, this is where this Tamiya kit is a huge, notice the biggest difference. There's your two bulkheads. One's got a whole bunch of detail, and the one has a few little lines on it. That's the difference. And this, my camera being in autofocus is really bugging me. After this, we're going to take this piece, now that it's glued, and there's a couple little holes, and that's going to line up and go right there like that. Just like that. Okay, you can set that down. And that's going to be it for that. And now that this is like that, there we go. Finally. Then we're going to take the other bulkhead and we're going to put this piece on. And it looks like this. Similar thing, it goes just like that. And compare this rear bulkhead to the Academy. There's our two bulkheads. Again, lots of detail and a couple little scribed lines, and that's it. The side wall, if we take a look at this side wall, we have this tiny little rectangular piece goes on here and glues in right there like that. But I have a piece of photo etch to go on there. It's really strange. This goes like that, but what about this panel? This is almost looking to me like if you don't have a Rio, you put these walls in. Like this. Maybe that's why there's no panel on the Academy kit. Maybe that's why there's nothing here on the Academy kit. For the photo etch, I mean. Or not photo etch, the... You know what I mean. What am I talking about? Well... That goes there. That goes there. Where are my panels for back here? I don't seem to have them. That is interesting. Hold up. Let's hold up here. I don't seem to have any rear panels on the Tamiya kit. We have our front ones for the pilot. What about the panels for the Rio? So here, attaching cockpit sidewalls, but do we not have any detail for the rear pilot or for the Rio? I keep calling it a rear pilot. What's a rear pilot? Come on, where's our pilot? I know eventually we get back to the cockpit. Here we go. That's the seat. There is none. That's weird. I'm gonna take a look at the Tamiya kit here. No. It's only detail on the sidewalls. So my guess is Tamiya molded one bucket, but there's no, so there's an option, obviously. Maybe it's an F4N, like the F4N, the 1/32nd scale F4 Phantom by Tamiya, I believe that's an N. Of course, I remember I built that one. I should have a look at it. I'm pretty sure there were panels in the back, but on this guy, this just completely eliminates them, and they're gone. They're not even going to be, you won't see them at all. Maybe this one. Maybe. But then, yeah, I don't know. It's possible that once this is in on the fuselage, you won't even see it. I'm not sure exactly where this is going to fit in here. But yeah, you'll see something. There's going to be a gaping. There has to be something that goes right there. And there is. This guy right here, S6, that's this angled piece. This guy goes in right there. Probably like this. Nope. Like this. Sits in there like that. Sits like that. So once this wall goes in, this guy goes like that. Just like that. Okay, sorry. You guys can't tell what I'm doing. So, wall goes in, and then this little guy goes in. Just like so. But this other wall on the other side, it's much taller. And so if we just do a little test here, where this is going to sit roughly, it's going to go all the way up to the top here. And so you're not going to see the other panel, the other side. It completely covers it. So that's where we are with that. And that's probably why the stencils for the Academy kit don't have anything for the rear control surface, even though the kit itself has them, right? Wrong bucket, but you know what I mean. It has these instead of the big wall, instead of a wall going up there. Now, I'm not a scratch builder, so I'm not going to be able to just take a wall and plunk it in there. So I'm going to have to try and paint that side and attempt at getting a lot of detail for that. But anyway, I think I could probably get away with gluing this wall in like that, but I don't want to do that because I've got a panel that's going on here, right? So I've got a panel that is going to be taking up this right here, right? And I got another panel that's going to be going on this right here. Plus on here and on this. See, the way Tamiya has really done it, they've separated everything on here. So it's all separate parts, right? Where the Academy's done it as one mold. See, I have to glue this on here, like so, and I have to glue the side pieces on. There's a lot of extra things going on with the Tamiya kit than there is with the Academy, and a lot of it I have to do all on its own. Like this is going to be going on here somewhere. I don't even know exactly how it goes. And we've got tiny little joysticks, and we've got our main stick here. Goes like this. I can actually glue that one in. I'm going to glue that in now. Tamiya is nice enough to actually put the hole for it to go through offset, so you know you have it backwards or not. That's a neat little feature. Okay, so these pieces actually go down here and get glued in like that once you have the panel down. So what I'm going to do real quick, I'm going to file these down so that I can glue them in. Get these filed down nice and smooth. I almost should have primed these blacks so that I can tell when they're nice and smooth. And kind of do the opposite of the Academy ones. That's pretty smooth. Again, it's a shame to get rid of all this detail that you know somebody went to a lot of effort to sculpt. Okay, so that's smooth. That can be glued down. Here we go. Okay, we'll do the same with this one. We got a big box here, but we're not going to get rid of the box. The box stays because the stencil actually goes around it. I think I got that down to a pretty good level of, or lack of detail. All right, that's good. We can glue this one down. There we go. So those two panels are down. That's good. We have these pieces here that have to go on each side. They need to be smooth as well. So the reason why I'm doing all this, I'm gluing it all in, it gives me less separate pieces to paint, while at the same time they're not going to be disrupting me from being able to paint everything. Like if, let's say for example, I put in the seats. Well, the seats are going to be in the way and I won't be able to get into every little nook and cranny with the paint. And that would suck. So now this is just making sure I got it all where it's supposed to be before I glue it. This piece goes on this side. There we go. Okay. Anything else I can put on here? See, this is going to go like that. Wow, that really is a big difference. Like, these blocks actually stick out completely, like a good distance away from this panel. These little blocks, which is a huge difference in comparison to this guy. Sorry, this guy, where those blocks are basically just a little bit angled out from there, but sort of part of it. Where these actually stick out like great big blocks. Huge difference in the detail. That piece I am going to keep out separate. What I can do is file away all our detail off of it. But at the same time, I need to make sure. See, there's even this little piece that sticks out. This is raised, where on this one it was just flush. So that's a little bit different. That's a little one big knob that was made short work of a knob that was on there. One thing that helps with the file is if you can actually get some pressure on it. Make short work of it. I don't want to completely get rid of that raised portion because it just needs to be smooth. And then there is a piece that goes down here, so that's got to go too. See, it helps if you can actually do this kind of thing. There we go. So I can glue this in now without fear of it blocking anything. But if I glue this in, how do I get this little part down in there, right? So I can't glue it. I'm ready to put it in, but I'm not ready. So yeah, anyway, I got more to do. Okay, I got more to do, and then I got to paint it all with the sky gray. Okay, but that's where I'm going to leave it for now. Okay. Still got more work to do. That's nature of the business, nature of the game, right? Name of the game, nature of the game. What do you call it? I don't know. But like I said, it's just a lot of prep work before we actually get to assembling anything. Yeah. But it is amazing to me the difference in the cockpits, in the level of detail. But that's Tamiya, right? Tamiya makes you assemble so much more than other companies do. But that's part of what makes them good, right? And the fact that it all goes together and it fits nice and tight, and you don't have to do a lot of junk to get it to fit right. And that's why Tamiyas are so awesome. And except for one guy I watched on YouTube, he hates Tamiya kits because they go together so quick and easy. All right, that's your prerogative. That's fine. I like the fact they go together nice and easy. Yeah, so that is where I'm going to leave it for today. A little bit more cleanup work to do. I will spray it all with the light gray or the sky gray, and next time we'll get to actually putting these panels on and getting it more assembled. So yeah, that's going to be it for now. I want to thank you guys for watching. Thank you for coming out, and thank you for over 500 subscribers on my YouTube. That is really awesome, and yeah, thank you so much, guys. One thing I would like to point out, and I want to ask for help on this. I'm kind of giving away what I've got planned in the future. I've got a model of a 1980-81. I can't remember. I think it's a 1980 Pontiac Trans Am. Okay. Yes, it's a car kit. Wow, what's going on with that? Anyway, that year model, you know, I used to like Smokey and the Bandit back then, but I didn't like his first Trans Am. I liked it more in Smokey and the Bandit 2. I liked his newer one. I always liked the 4 square headlights instead of the eagle eyes, as they called them back then. I want to paint it in a very nice blue, and I picked up All-Clad's Candy Electric Blue, and it's really nice, and this is kind of the color. Okay, and it looks nice. This is done over a primer, and then Tamiya silver, and then painted this candy blue over it, and it looks really beautiful. It's a beautiful color. But the problem I'm having is getting a nice even coat, a nice wet even coat over it, because if I do my normal way of spray painting, it kind of goes on flat. It doesn't go on glossy. It doesn't stay glossy. And so when I try and put it on more wet, what happens, it seems like it's like the paint particles are laying down flat, but then as it gets thicker, they start to stand up. And I wind up getting a super rough coat on it. And it winds up looking like crap. And I want to know, do you guys know what I'm doing wrong? Because I had to let it sit for a couple of days to actually cure, and then progressively wet sand 6,000 grit, then 8,000, then 10,000. Have a look. No, let's go back to 6,000 the other way, 8,000, 10,000. That's why you can see these little white spots, because I've sanded it a little too much and I burned right through the paint there. I've got it to a point where it looks pretty good, but in this area here, but not down in these edges, right? It still looks like crap. I'm going to change the camera. I'll show you an example. I know this is totally off topic, but let's see. There, you see how rough that looks? Now, in certain spots, it looks nice and shiny. Let's try and get that there. Yeah, it looks nice and shiny. But you can see the texture, especially back towards the fin here, right? It's not as glass smooth as I would like it to be. And you know, you watch guys on YouTube, they spray on the little plastic spoons and stuff like that, and it looks perfect. But I'm going to be painting it on the hood and the roof of a car, and it's a big panel like this, which is why I'm testing it on my old F-15 wing. I need it to look good like on a bigger surface. So if you guys have any tips and tricks on painting that alclad on a larger surface like that, please let me know in the comments below. And while you're at it, hit the like button and subscribe too. That would be really awesome. But anyway, I'm going to leave it at that for now, and we will see you all in the next one.